I already built some good habits, steps, trying
Mhm.
to eat healthy, meal prep, and everything. But I'd say that one thing that has always been lacking throughout my entire training history, even dating back to when I was training with Daniel in Playground, is nutrition.
Mm.
Nutrition was something that was never really, I wouldn't say like, yeah, not, I wouldn't say a focus, but it wasn't really broken down to a very detailed level, right? I understand the concept of calories deficit and counting calories, but I think like macros wasn't a thing that I was accurately tracking, right? So I guess I was just health wise, I was happy that I was relatively healthy, but I felt that I could push.
A bit more like the process. What made you decided to actually reach out to me
Mhm.
to go online? You were thinking about online, but why me specifically at that point in
Yeah,
time last year?
yeah, sure. I know of your work and I know of what you used to do in Playground. And I felt that I've been following for your content for some time. And I thought, hey, Riz isn't some random person. I know, I sort of know him. I know of his work. And I know friends of friends who have said good things about your training. So I thought, like, hey, if he can really like drill down and give me a good plan and do it remotely, that's sort of what I'm looking for as well. Right? But the metabolic restoration period, right?
Wait, yeah,
I feel that I had been under eating my calories for quite some time. And I don't know. I think just that reset itself just helped fuel my body. And then when we started the process, and then like, although I wasn't officially in like a fat loss phase, you had tried to reduce my calories slightly, right? And I felt that it was working. Remembering correctly, it was working well for like the first few weeks. Yes, granted, I did travel in between, but when I
yeah.
wasn't traveling, it was going down quite steadily. And then at some point, it started to reach a plateau. And then you and Anna like kind of helped fix my macros, right? And I kind of realized, oh, actually, let's bump down the carbs and increase the fats. And then suddenly, like things started moving again, right? And I guess like these are things that maybe now with the help of like AI and ChatGPT, I could ask questions. Training program, two things. I feel that number one, I'm more well-rounded in all of my lifts, all three. So if we're just talking about like bench,
Squad. Yeah.
deadlift, I feel like I'm quite well-rounded in all of three. And my base level has increased. And another thing is like I feel that I've made a lot of progress with my pull-ups as well. Like I'm doing like weighted pull-ups consistently now and like not being fatigued as quickly. I think I mentioned, I think when I first started and you asked me like, oh, how many pull-ups can I do? I'm like, oh, probably like 8 in a row. And then like that set one and set two will be like half of that. And then now it's like I can consistently do 8 weighted pull-ups for 3 sets. And that's like something that I haven't, it's for me, that's a good achievement, right? So I think like, yeah, the program
Do you remember what was the hardest point of you in the beginning? Was there a point that you felt like it was the hardest stretch, and what kept you going?
stretch. I think the first fat loss phase, like after the metabolic restoration, when you guys gave me the original goal of hitting 70 kg, and I think I was like, I was traveling and I overindulged in London, so almost like reset my progress. But it's like I was trending towards the 70 target, but I guess by that time that fat loss phase had ended, I didn't hit that number, and I think I felt like, oh, like shit, like I didn't hit that number. It might be like disappointing. It's kind of disappointing myself, and also maybe like you guys as trainers, like you'd want to see me hit that number ideally in that set amount of time. So I felt like, oh, like maybe I was a bit discouraged then. But then I think I always go back to the whole thing of like sometimes it's not about just the weight, like the number on the
Mhm.
scale, right? It's like how I look, how I feel.
That you felt like you wanted to quit?
Probably on that program where you had me do like 20 leg presses right after squats. I think I was just like, remember just like my legs shaking. I'm just thinking like, why am I doing this? Like, what am I training for? Like, and then like after the gym, like have to crawl back and like, yeah, like continue with the workout. Say like there's nothing, yeah, there's no real thing that's made me want to quit. But I think it's just like sometimes I'm doing like some of the exercise, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking tired. Really, like this is nuts. But do it, just push. And then to me, like that's what's been interesting about some of the programs. It's like I've somehow like being able to push through and still like
Mhm.
seeing through it. It's like, oh, okay, actually, I can do it. Oh, not too bad. Yeah.
Yes, the mind will give up first for the body. Okay, we know that. Okay, so what about training wise? So let's just say you've planned out like a few times a week training, right? But shit happens and works get busy or stuff like that.
Mm.
So how do you fit like training around busy schedules like that or impromptu stuff?
Yeah. I think it's important to try your best to pre-plan your workouts and dedicate like specific days, right? I am guilty of missing some training weeks. I think my most recent trip to KL, I only trained twice. For a 1 week block. I only trained technically once, right? So that was a bit of a bummer. But like shit happens. I think it's important to just don't beat yourself up about it, and just when you get back to your routine, when you get back to like your home base, just make sure you get the workouts in. Don't try to cram them up, cram them all like back to back. Don't rush it, because you could just like injure yourself in the process. But ideally, try to do like, well, I try to tell myself like, don't take more than 2 days off. Yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
tip. That's a very good tip.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or else, it'll just be easier for you to just be like, oh, next week, oh, tomorrow, and then this all piles up. It's just like the steps thing, like when you can do it.
Yeah.
And I guess like an important thing to figure out is like, I'm not going to not have pizza because I can't. I just got to be smart about it. Like in days when I'm not training, I will instinctively have less carbs or something and save it for days that where I am training or like where I am eating out. For example, this weekend I'm gonna have pizza. My intention is I will walk extra steps throughout the week. So like these kind of things, sort of just like they're tips that you and Anna give, like, and then slowly it's just kind of become intuition for me. Like, oh, like I'm gonna do this weekend, or I have a birthday celebration. I'm going to have to be more active this week to help counteract the thing. Or things like prioritizing protein before you go out. Like if you know you're gonna have pizza that literally almost has no protein, have something beforehand, right? This most recent cut, I feel that a lot of my clothes have started to like be a lot more loose. Then I'm like, oh shit, that means I have to start buying new clothes. Like, what the hell?
Isn't that a good problem?
Not good, but like, yeah. I'm the type of like I don't want to have to bother buying new clothes all the time. So yeah, I'd say that I saw visual change within 2 months.
Okay. For the benefit of this video, right? Do you remember what weight you started on? I know exactly what your weight was, but just want you to tell me.
What weight I started at was 75.5, but I think I ballooned up to like almost 77.
Yeah. Was it not 76.8 or something?
One of the highest was 76.
10th of August.
10th of August. Okay. I think that was, yeah, probably right. That was probably right before we started, I think. Because
And then what's your weight as of today?
it's, this morning was, where is it? It is 69.75, but I'm averaging about 69.6. So yeah, so that's a pretty good reduction. I mean, it's not like what you see, like people like, oh, I've lost 10 kg, but I feel that when I started off, I wasn't exactly like beer belly or like a lot of bloatedness. I'd say that it was like a lot more fluff. I like to tell my wife that I look like a potato, but I'm a strong potato. So I want to maybe lose some fat, gain some muscle, and then yeah, I'll look less like a potato. Like a Dorito. That's the goal. Yeah.
Tell me about the pizza, about doing more steps and stuff like that. Do you still feel like this is like a diet, or this is more like a lifestyle for you now, or just how you live?
Yeah, I think it's more like how I live. I don't really subscribe to the whole like I'm going on a diet kind of thing, right? I'd want to live my life right and enjoy the things that I enjoy. So I think like I just make better and smarter decisions in terms of my movement or nutrition in order for me to enjoy the things that I enjoy, right? I love steak. Unfortunately, steak is also very high calories and fat, right? But I will make sure that I eat right earlier in the week, be super like active, and then play more tennis. I don't know, and then so I can afford that steak. Yeah, that's why I like. Although I've been on this mini cut,
Were you stressed about nutrition before?
more of the sense of like, oh, like when I'm eating out, why can't I like sort of a bit of like why can't I enjoy the things that I want to eat, right? Maybe like maybe a slight guilt of when I eat. Yeah, I wouldn't say like it was tremendous. I would just be like, oh, I want to eat cake, but I can't. That kind of thing. But now I could just be like, I could eat cake if I want. off cut. Yeah, when I'm
Yes.
not cutting, yes. Mhm.
So beside from being able to do like consistent 3 sets of 8s or weighted pull-ups, right? What can you do today that you feel you couldn't do at the start? It can be a big thing or a small thing that you
No,
feel.
I'd say that one thing that I feel has improved a lot. It still isn't like extraordinary, but I still think for me it's been really good is chest. I think chest and shoulders have been they're a lot better now than when I started off. Like my bench press is significantly stronger. Yes, I have pre-existing shoulder injuries, but we found ways to work around it. I know you guys are helping me with a lot of accessory movements to help me like strengthen the smaller muscles and everything. But I think in general, like, I've made a lot of progress with my bench and chest related pressing movements. My squats, I think, still very high level. I think pushing very high. Yeah. Deadlifts,
Playing tennis or like more energy at work and stuff like that.
yeah. I think generally I feel like more energetic. I think in tennis as well, I think being more agile, hitting harder. Yeah. I think maybe feeling less tired in general. Yeah. In general, just feeling pretty strong overall. Still pretty good. Yeah. Not sluggish at all in any way and everything.
All right. Okay. Throughout this, all right, last question. Like, if someone's watching this, right, and they were sitting on the fence about joining a coaching program, what would you say to someone who's sitting on the fence right now?
Yeah. I'd say that if it's your first time doing PT, especially if it's first time doing online PT, it could be a very daunting feeling. But I feel that if you're committed and if you actually do want to have results and kind of lead and create a sustainable lifestyle, I think that it is worth the time and investment. Yeah, to join this program. I feel that the way that the program is structured, how the tracking is set up, I think it does help. Good progress in the last almost year. That's like what, 7, 8 kg